July's been hot, 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 but what board games have we liked most this month?
Hi, I'm Libby, this is Julian, and together we are BoxedMeeples, and it's the end of another month, so as usual we're talking down our best games that we've played this month.
Now, we've talked about it before. It's that board game in a box that you just unfold, has the cool air vents, Pandora Celeste. Now, this is currently on GameFound, and we talked about it a few months back. We played an early prototype. You've probably seen this in all sorts of conventions. It's kind of been all over kind of the community. But we've got a chance to actually play more of the game and see how the game has progressed from when we first played it.
Yeah, so initially, and some of the content that we've done on it previously was very much a sort of a mini campaign of learning, so you sort of get to know the game, and each different chapter introduces you to some more mechanics.
Yeah, so we've learnt the game. We did all of that campaign. We now know how to play it. We've explored those three-dimensional air vents that are so amazing.
Yes.
That really do bring the game to life. And we've got the chance to just play the kind of randomised nature of the game. So it's not just aliens we're seeing in this game. We're seeing there's a Terminator style character in there. There's a Predator style character. Basically, if you've seen those kind of 90s style sci-fi horror films, imagine the villains in those. They're going to be in Pandora Celeste. And it's not just the big nasties. There's kind of all these sort of smaller nasties that we've been coming across as we've been playing the kind of main game now. So we're seeing like Venus flytraps that of course come from Venus. And more excitingly, we've been exploring the cargo bays, and you know those films. You venture into the dark corridors, into the cargo bays. You can't see what's going on there, but you know there's something really bad lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, you know every film when you head into those cargo bays. Some bad stuff's about to happen, and it definitely does in Pandora Celeste.
Now, what's great about Pandora Celeste is I do love the use of cards in this game. You know, obviously they're tracking your noise, you're playing cards from your hand, and also you're using those same cards for combat, and you have the really elegant combat in this game where you're placing cards and really pushing your luck, trying to get, are you going to get another hit, or is it going to quickly go very, very, very wrong?
And of course, you were talking about the sort of different elements of the cards. Some of those characters are going to be able to deal with things in the cargo base, maybe slightly better than other ones. Some are really good with using tools, some are really good using guns. And of course you can change depending on the items that you pick up, but those icons and abilities that you get naturally in your sort of player hand for the different characters are maybe going to sway you into heading to the cargo base, or maybe avoiding them.
Get away from those. Now, I always seem to kind of gravitate toward playing the android because I do like the kind of shifty nature of him, because in the main game, after you played through the learning tutorial, you're actually drawing your objectives. Now, if you're playing as the android and you draw a company objective, you have to choose it, which means all of the other players with you are mostly going, he's shifty, I don't want to be around him. That being said, you could be an entirely good android if you draw two positive agendas. I do like the way that they change as you're playing. The nasties you're going to be playing against are different each time you're playing, so you don't really quite know how this game is going to pan out, what everyone's trying to do, and even where those things are going to be found on your individual playthrough.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know necessarily at the beginning of the game where you want to be able to exit. So these things come along as your agendas come together, and you kind of work out that puzzle of how you're going to get what you need and then get where you need to be to then be able to fully win.
Now, if you've just heard about Pandora Celeste, you need to get a bit of a wriggle on, because the GameFound campaign is going to be ending soon, and there's loads more stretch goals to come. So do a little bit of research, watch our previous video on why we enjoyed Pandora Celeste so much, and if you are into kind of those 90s sci-fi horror films, if you like kind of dungeon crawling style games, if you like more kind of whimsical tongue-in-cheek style games, just fun to play, it's a game you probably should be looking into.
Yeah, and for me this month, it's a game that maybe some people will be surprised that it's my game of the month rather than your game of the month.
It's always my
and it's Root. And yeah, I mean, it's your number one game, so I think it always gets associated with you. But I do actually love the game too. I just don't always get to play it as much as you do. And last month we played it a couple of times. Both times I made an effort to play new factions that I've not played before. And so the first time we played, it was a 3-player game, so we added in a few of the hirelings, and I played the Corvid Conspiracy for the first time, and that was super fun, having those tokens, trying to work out, you know, what I think they think that I'm going to have put down. Do I put down what is obvious? Do I kind of switch it up a bit and just hope that they'll never guess it? And with the Corvids, the more tokens you get to put down, the more you then manage to sort of flip over, the more points you're getting every single time you manage to reveal another one. So it really can hike up, so that if you're revealing 2 in a turn, you've got some down and they haven't managed to destroy them. There was a turn there that I could potentially have scored 9 points in one turn if they hadn't have done something.
We had to.
Of course, they did do something.
Yeah, we had to get control of this bird invasion while we could, because it was getting a bit worrying as you were kind of revealing placing these tokens and not quite knowing quite how to stop you. Because usually I'm quite good at reading you, but with this, it was almost like you were randomly picking and going, I'm going to stay like that. I couldn't anticipate what you were doing.
No, because I was purposely doing something that I didn't think that either of them would think that I would do. I mean, there's a few moments where it's like, well, the wisest thing here is to put out a bomb. Yeah. And I would do that. You know, I tried to mix it up a bit, but it was really fun playing a new little puzzle in that, and I managed to win.
You did.
And the second game that we played, again, I was keen to play one that I wasn't as familiar with, so I would have been happy to play the Corvid Conspiracy again, but I think those around the table thought, don't give her another chance to win twice in a row. Well, I did win twice in a row, but this time with the Lord of the 100, the Rat faction, and that one's, again, super fun. You're trying to get out these mob tokens, blowing up everyone's tokens the minute my turn starts, which was super fun. But it's quite tricky getting positioned around the board and managing to be in areas on the board where nothing else is, and that's how you score points as the Lord of the 100. And you're having these different actions that you're going to get to play each turn, with depending on the different how the Lord is feeling. He's very moody. He changes his mood, gives you these different actions, and so you've got to manage the balance of the good moods versus the good stuff on the board, and being able to clear all of these clearings so that you can hold on to them and score those points. Really fun faction to play, very explosive.
I think it might be one of your new favourite factions.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game of Root. It's a brilliant game. We love that asymmetry and learning a new faction and kind of getting to grips with it. And when you don't play it all of the time, sometimes coming back to it again to play something you haven't played in a while, because there's so many to choose from there, is sort of like fresh.
It does remind you of how much you do love it when you do get back to it. Yeah.
So there are favourite games in July.
But what have you played in July? Do let us know in the comments down below. And if you're interested in getting particularly Root, you should head to your friendly local game store. And for us in the southeast of England, that is Chaos Cards. And if you're shopping online, obviously we've got a discount code in the description, which you can use to save yourself some money at the checkout.
You can indeed. And of course, as I said at the beginning, I'm Libby, this is Julian, we're BoxedMeeples. If you aren't already subscribed, we would love it if you would do so. It really does help us out. And of course, do comment and let us know your thoughts. See you next time.